but I could be a stranger.
Okay. Okay. You ready? Take two. Okay, hello to everybody at home. Just for documentation, this is Sunday, September 19th, year of 2021. I am Sarah Weiland, a reporter from the Palm Beach Post, and my specialty is the Palm Beach arts scene. So I'm here this evening with Dr. Jerry Kushel. I'm very excited to be able to interview him. So first of all, Doctor, it's very nice to meet you. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Very nice to be here.
Now, Doctor, for the people back home, they might not know, but you were just recently in the news that you recently sold one of your original art paintings for one of the highest prices ever to have gone by someone your age through especially who is living in assisted living. So we just wanted to touch that. But before we do, Doctor, I'd just love to get into like maybe your history. You can tell the people back home a little bit about yourself. How did you even get into art and what inspired you? So first of all, where did you grow up, Doctor?
I grew up in Trenton, New Jersey.
Now, Trenton, pardon me for saying, is not really known for its art scene. Am I correct?
Artists can be anywhere. I wasn't a famous art place, but that's where I grew up.
Okay, so when you were a child, were you automatically interested in art?
When I was a little boy, I was pretty good in my kindergarten class. And later on, I used to draw the calendars with colored chalk for the various teachers. They liked the way I could draw, but I wasn't anything special. But now that I am 91, I've suddenly become lucky to sell one painting. I only sold this one painting for $27,000, and I was shocked that I got that amount. But that's what I was asking for, but I didn't expect anybody to buy it. I've been at this place called Your Life for about 3 years, and I took up painting again. I used to paint a little, but not much. And I always was drawing and painting, but I was not serious. But I even studied art. I got a doctorate in psychology, but I studied art. And when I got old, I'm 91 right now, when I got about 89, I thought maybe I could do it again. So I got into another class at the assisted living where I was, and I started to paint. And they were giving you very careful instruction. I stopped that class. I watched on YouTube, on television. I began to paint. And my friend, Stan Freeland, he said, "Jerry, you're painting better than you ever did in your entire life." And I had a friend in New York, in Huntington, Long Island. His name is Stan Brodsky, and he was a very popular and well-known and dedicated artist. And he got his doctorate in art, but he was also showing in the New York galleries. And his paintings sometimes go for $40,000 or $50,000. I never thought I could get anything like that. But somebody said to me, "Jerry, why don't you sell one of your paintings here?" I said, "I'm not going to sell my paintings. I'm an old man. I got them all over the house. As you can see, this is my apartment. I got them all over the walls here and all over the walls in my bedroom." But somebody said, well, you ought to sell them. I said, I don't want to sell them. Somebody said, well, what's your best painting? So I said to them, my best painting, which is not here, is downstairs in the lobby. And they call the painting Morocco. It's the best painting I ever did in my entire life, even though I always was messing around with painting and drawing, and I loved it. Anyhow, guess what? Somebody said, why don't you put a price on your paintings? I said, I don't want to sell any paintings, but if I'm going to put a price, boss is getting 40, 50,000. I think I should get 27,000 for this painting there. So somebody said, what? Are you kidding? I said, yeah, and I'll give you 20% if you sell it. And I got this friend, Bob Reichman, and he sold it to Mr. Feinstein, who came and admired it, has lots of money, and he said, this painting is $27,000. And Feinstein came up with $27,000, which cost me $5,400. I had to give to Mr. Reichman, but I don't care, because now I sold the painting, and now the newspaper is interviewing me, and I'm very appreciative. I feel sad to see that painting go. Somebody said to me, in fact, Mr. Feinstein said, Mr. Kushel, Dr. Kushel, they call me doctor sometimes, because in psychology I'm a doctor. Anyhow, he says, how long did it take you to paint this? So I paint pretty fast, but I told him 91 years. Because everything in that painting is intuitive. No idea of where it comes from, but it comes from my 91-year history in the interest of art. I developed a taste and intuition, which I think, personally, to me, is priceless. I know other people give price numbers, $1, $5, $100. In fact, some big paintings in California of a swimming pool, I think went for about $90 million. I said, this painting to me is worth at least, it's probably worth to me $90 million. Well, I figured, well, I'll sell it for $27,000, but I was shocked to get it. No, I'm sorry, I sold it. I think it must be worth a lot more, but I'm going to give Bob Reichman $5,000 and $400, $5,400. Thank you very much for this interview. Any other questions?
No, thank you for joining me this evening.
You have any other questions?
What's your next painting going to be?
No, I'm not going to do any more.
No more?
No, I want to sell these other ones. You want to buy a painting?
Very good, very good.
You
Do you feel, doctor, though, that it's very curious, I have to ask this question, that you, having your doctorate in psychology, do you feel that gives you an edge some way in opening your mind up to different possibilities?
You don't need any degree to paint. It's intuition. But you need a good judgment, and it's a matter of taste. Picasso's taste, Pagans, Monet's taste, Kushel's taste, Barsky's taste. It's a matter of taste. What you like, somebody else might not like. This guy Feinstein liked it. I liked it. He got the money. I sold it. And that's it. Fatik, as my father would say.
Very good. Very good.
Any more questions?
Is it your opinion, though, that everyone has this intuition within them?
No.
Or can anyone be an artist? Or?
Oh, yeah, anyone can be an artist. But not everyone is lucky enough to sell their painting for $27,000 when they're 91. And there are some people, most people, whatever profession they're in, they do their best work in their 50s. sometimes in their 60s. Philip Roth, the writer, he wrote his best work in his 60s. Most writers in their 50s. Me, I did my best work 91. I started 89 to 90. But this painting, Morocco, is by far the highest achievement of my career so far. So far, so good. Who knows, right? Next painting might be 101, and it'll cost, I might sell it for $32,000, or maybe I'll get $90,000, like the guy sold it in California. Who knows? It's very, very subjective.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing your experience with us, Gerald.
That's it.
Oh, you want some more questions?
I don't care. Are you? If you got enough for your article, go ahead.
Well, I do have to say, though, that you are such an inspiration to anyone, octogenarians and beyond. So what advice would you give to the people that you say you started when you were 89 to really concentrate on your art? So what advice would you give to people in their 80s, 90s, and beyond that maybe they should look into art? Or
It could be, but I think you have to have an interest. And it's not easy for me to do a work. It doesn't come easily. It's very much, you have to be driven. You have to thirst for it. But you should find something that you search for and thirst for, and it gives you incentive to live longer. I think it's fun to have something you're doing that you enjoy and that you're passionate about. And I'm passionate, not so much about painting, but seeing things, because it's really taste. If you have good taste, you paint until it matches your taste. If you don't like what you do, the nice part about oil painting or acrylic, you paint over it until you get it to where you like it. When you stop, guess what? It's your taste. It doesn't stop. There's no way. They asked de Kooning, when are you finished with the painting? And he said to the person who was interviewing him, I'm never finished. I'm only doing one big painting my whole life. Maybe that's why I did every little scratching when I was a little kid, right up until this last one, which actually, if you want to know the truth, it took me about 3 weeks. I did an oil painting, and then I sat on a wall for about a year, and then I didn't like it. Didn't suit my taste, and I learned how to use some other ways of painting, pan, pastel, and acrylic, a gloss. And I experimented, and lo and behold, that's what came out, Morocco. Morocco. You said, how come you named it Morocco? Because I've been to Morocco, and that reminds me of the experience. You say, is there a river like that? I don't know. To me, it's just Morocco. A miracle in Morocco.
wow. But now you said, though, that you had that particular painting started and it hung on your wall for quite some time. So at what point, though, when you started to rework it, at what point are you satisfied with what you're doing? Is there some light bulb that comes on?
Every good painting, and I did a lot of paintings that are not so good, but every really good painting I look at and I say, wow, wow. I did a painting of her. I say, wow. I did a painting of Africa, a lion. I said, wow. I did a painting, I call it Us. I said, wow. Not every painting do I say, wow. But when I do, it's like a whole emotional instant. Very exciting. Wow.
Well, it had to be a major wow to have 27,000 check.
Well,
handed
it's,
to you.
actually, compared to what painters get, that's a drop in the bucket. But it's very nice. I admit, it's like an outside confirmation. But actually, inside, I felt it was worth minimum of $54,000. But I give it away. The hell with it. But it's worked. By the way, you want one for 27? I might give it a thought. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Come again anytime. But next time you come, do me one favor. Bring your checkbook. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cut.